those that live beyond the veil of darkness where nightmares are born. Sanity knows no bounds, and men's thrives on the suffering of the damned. Rot in the solace in the souls of the weak. We have taken refuge here among the mortals in hope of a harvest for my innocence. Tread lightly in the search for the voices and stories of the departed, for in shadow hides the evil that lurks within. As the light dies and slowly becomes night, the realm of spirits rule the world. In the darkness of your mind hides your own hidden demons, and brings to life your deepest fear. Do you have what it takes to speak to the dead? Do you accept your own mortality in the search for life after life? Have you ever seen a ghost, spirit, or demon? Have the lights flickered and the room became as cold as death itself? Maybe you have. Maybe it was your own subconscious preparing you for death. Come spend some of what's left of your own existence in our search for the answers that are hidden behind the veil. Shed off the blinders and open your mind's eye and listen to their stories. We are they. We are Incarnate Paranormal.
And what is up, everybody? Happy Monday to you. Hope you all are well. Hope you had a good Monday, or as good as a Monday can be. Yeah. For those that missed it last night, missed the show yesterday, you missed out on a shit ton. You missed out on some of the best evidence we've ever gotten here on the show. Sucks to be you. Good thing is, the views on Twitch have gone through the roof on this video, and a few even on YouTube. So, we're going to see. We're going to get some responses. I was even telling people about work about it. Even a couple people for the prison, for the investigation coming up in October. The positive side on this is, Slackers is right, Deads. 100%. Fucking Slackers. The investigation is almost sold out. It's locked up. I'm literally less than a week in, and almost all the spots are filled. I've got a couple reserved, just in case for other people. Dads, I got a call today from somebody who was there on the first investigation who's no longer with the previous team. And she's like, since I didn't get to go, what are the nights? What's the rates? It's like, you've got a spot. I promised you this. You have a spot. We have access to the entire prison. She's like, yeah, I'll take 2 spots. So, of course. Then one of the other investigators I called up, you've heard me talk about him on the show before, Chris. I was like, dude, see if you and Kelly want to come up for the investigation. He's like, yeah, we'll take the spots. So there's 4 spots gone right there. So we got 17 spots filled. Duds, I'm holding a spot for you. I'm holding a spot for Johnny Parati. If you guys have seen the movie Clown Motel, he is one of the clowns, Hammy. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is a little cheesy, but it's pretty good, pretty damn good. I'm going to talk to him about maybe doing a clown movie at the prison. I've got some ideas in my head, and see if they'll tie the clown hotel movie, or clown motel, into Nevada State Prison. I've got some wild ideas for this. Yeah, Deads. They did a second one. It's like I said, it's not terrible. And why is this like this? Why is this like this right now? Why are you locked? Why is this doing this? Chat is not showing up on the screen. I don't know why. We'll have to figure that out later. It was for a sec. It's only partially showing. And I don't know why. But I'll fix that later. Gonna go ahead and switch on over. I want to replay that EVP from last night. Let's kill Carol Cole. I have dimensions or something. I just don't know. Yeah, that one, Deads. That one. I wanted to start off the show with it just because of the epic nature of it. I messaged Susan. I messaged back. She goes, "Oh, wow, the spirits must be angry." The spirits are angry. Yeah, you research the shit out of the guy. His whole life is just a lot of misfortune, and his childhood led up to all of it. And he sought out help. And the system said, fuck you. The system screwed the guy and made him who he was. And you can see how defeated he was in that video, in the interview. It's sad. But let's play this through a couple times. And we'll play it again later when everybody else filters in. Yeah, Shakespearean tragedy. Yeah. You gotta feel for it. You feel for what led him to where he was, but once he started committing those crimes, you almost got to put up this barrier and say, you know what? He made some decisions. And it's, your heart breaks, but again, it's like, hey, you did kill somebody. So yeah, you do have to pay for your crimes. That's where the empathy ends. But even after a couple of they released him, and it's like going, where did the state mess up at this? They could have stopped it so much sooner. And you dive into some of these other murders that were executed there. It's like, oh, wait a minute here. This is not right. You just kind of got to shrug. See where the system is now compared to where it was in 1960. Nowadays, one red flag goes up, you're in for a psych evaluation. You might be in a psych ward for 5 years, and then you're out. But it's in 3 different mental institutions, and they all turned him away. They're like, it's nothing. You can go. Who knows? But we left off 3 hour, 50-minute mark. We've got another, hour and 30 minutes to go, or 2 hours and 30 minutes. I don't know, actually about a full 2 hours to go. So let's get going. They would have committed him and kept him hopped up on meds 100%. Put him in a minimum security mental health facility. a minimum security mental health facility, if that makes any sense. Yeah, for what he went through as a child, that he would have had padded walls and shiny buckles, making him hug himself. You know, the ones that are like kind of got yourself in that warm embrace. I need to get a straight jacket for the show. I think that'd be interesting. Oh, and there is Sims. And you missed me playing the EVP from last night. Damn it. We'll play it again here in a little bit. We'll play it again here in a few minutes. Because that was the EVP of all EVPs. Freaking slacker! That's my next sound clip. Oh, I almost did that today, Sims. I flat out told the manager here, I said, I'm calling the managers in Phoenix. He's like, why? I said, because I want more money. He's like, well, why do you feel you deserve that? Gee, let's see, I'm the only full-time employee. The other guy went to part-time and leaves everything on my shoulders. Yeah, I want more money. He's like, well, I've got to prove that. I'm like, I said, if I leave, you got nobody. Oh, you'd walk out? No, I wouldn't walk out. I can't even say that with a straight face. So, Sims, I feel you. I almost did Friday. But common sense got the best of me. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do it real quick. This is the EVP from last night. This is the one that I don't want to say is going to break the show, but if the right people hear this, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Yeah, legitimately. I almost, if I had had whiskey in my mouth, I'd still be coughing. I would still be coughing it up. Yes, Sims. What the actual fuck is 100% right. Let's kill Carol Cole. Let's kill Carol Cole. These are the spirits saying they're going to kill another spirit. Or it's residual. Let's gang up and kill him. Because he was a womanizer and he killed, what, like 15 women? What the actual fuck is right? Having a spirit say, let's kill him? My God. That is the evidence of all evidence. We can sit and analyze just this one EVP. Just these 3 seconds for 2 hours. We could spend an entire show debating this EVP. Just wow. So yeah, that's kind of what everybody missed last night. I was telling everybody at work about it too, and they're like, "Wow, how do you get this stuff? Just how do you get so lucky, Brent?" Because the spirits freaking love me. And we actually did have to fish that one a little bit because there were people in the area talking. And it came right in the middle of them actually shutting up. It's almost like they were waiting to say that. And here's the what I've come to the conclusion on this one. Everybody in there is going in to talk to Carol Cole. Because my first investigation there, I made contact with him. I need some more info, but I can pretty much guarantee you can't rent a trailer here. I wasn't even excited. I felt dread. Oh, wow. But yeah, I think, in all fairness, that the other spirits are upset that we're only talking to Carol Cole. We're not trying to contact the other spirits, which is not true. Because you heard me in the execution or the execution viewing room on one of the recorders that we've already listened to, calling out everybody that was executed in that area. I said, if any of you want to have any messages, please come forward and speak. None of them came forward. So on the next trip, I'm going to have to try to make contact with other spirits and just pick them at random and see if they'll make contact with me. I apologize to them, be like, hey, only reason I did this is because Mr. Cole was the only one to communicate with me. Yeah. The one of them actually was antagonizing. Then the funny part about it was they started getting affected and had to say, why are you bothering her? Wait, you antagonized her, then tell her not to bother you? What do you think's going to happen when you antagonize a spirit in a prison, in death row, in execution? What do you think's going to happen? A lot of these people were negative even, they were negative up to the point of their execution. Some of them felt no remorse. And you're going to go in there and provoke the spirits? Bullshit. You're going to get what you deserve. You go in, you poke that bear enough, it's a matter of time before you get swiped. And they were getting swiped for 2 nights. And he said, so you're in here. Yes. Since I got this paused, these are the EVPs from last night. Come here to me, bitch, walk out, bitch again, get me out, let me out, unknown, shut up, 2 more get outs, what time, quite possibly Carol Cole himself saying, so you're in here, then the let's kill Carol Cole, get around this, and I'm sure, yeah. So we had some pretty substantial EVPs last night. And it was the exact same voice. Yes, it is. So You're In Here was Carol Cole. So we actually got him. It's a creepy feeling when you can put a name to the EVP. And Fairy Wings, welcome to the show. Do appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, 16 years. August will be my 14th year. Been on over 800 investigations. We're currently analyzing Nevada State Prison. We're on 40 of probably 100 shows to go through and analyze all my recorders. What I'll do is I'll go went throughout the prison, turned on the digital recorder, introduced myself, said where the recorder was being set it down, and just left it all night long. So, figure 2 nights, 7 hours each. So 14 hours of audio on like 15 different recorders. You do the math on how much audio we have to analyze. It's one of the most haunted locations I've ever been to. And please feel free to join in when I play the EVPs. If you think you hear something, please speak up. We'll go back through, clean it up, analyze it. Unless I can go ahead and debunk it and say it's a team member, it's some kind of ambient sound, like from the outside. Nevada State Prison sits right next to a freeway, so we're having to listen to a lot of traffic and a lot of people passing back and forth walking. So, yeah, welcome to the show, and I greatly appreciate you being here. And where are you at? Where do you mainly investigate at? Missouri and Arkansas. Okay. Then you have to be in southern Missouri. You got to probably be down around Joplin area. And yeah, Sims is outside Kansas City. Let me find out where she was an investigator at. Let me send a message real quick, so I gotta look away. See if she responds quick. I remember I had a friend on a team in Missouri. She's now up in Virginia, but she always used to investigate Peace Church Cemetery, if you know where that is. That was your first investigation too. Cool. Cool. Ah, there's the she was on 60th Street Paranormal, then Persian Sun Paranormal. It was a friend used to always call me up and say that like she'd have rocks thrown at her, or she got a flat tire on her Jeep after leaving the cemetery, and just there's I forget the name of there's a certain person buried there that supposedly very evil and will mess with people. So Moso Ghost Hunters, Billy Cook, that's it. I'm trying to message her and see if she can get me more information. And you don't mind me asking, what team are you with? Drop on Paranormal Research Society. Okay. I'm trying to text her and... Okay, then... Yeah, trying to get some more information from her as I'm listening and trying to read chat. Then you probably... did you know somebody named Kira about, what, 7, 8 years ago? Okay, cool. Then that's who I'm texting on Peace Church. And Small World Moment. She just said she thinks she remembers the director was Darla. Darlene. Okay, close enough. Oh my God. Then you know Kira. Then you know her. Small freaking. What are the odds? What are the freaking odds that a friend of Virginia who used to live in Joplin, who knows me in Vegas, I'm going to try to see if she'll come in here. Okay, she says hi. And Deads, this is going to give you an idea of how small this community actually is. It is it's a vast.
I'm right behind you.
Thank you, Sims. Thank you, Sims. Okay, uh, Darlene, this is just for you. This is from Kira right now. She's nice, and her team is the ones that got me the idea to use flashcards and ask the ghosts to read it. I saw them doing something like that in one of their videos. Think of the Joplin Library. They're good researchers. That's not going to focus. But the money needs to be made. I got no one to investigate with right now. And there's cars on the highway. And this is a downside when teams aren't coming through. You just get that all that white noise and foot traffic. But you guys know as well as I do, you can get some good residual EVPs just by leaving these recorders basically by themselves. We've got some of our best evidence just by doing that. And here's something even stranger for you there, Ferry. I grew up in Missouri. I literally grew up just outside Kansas City. So, technically got 3 Missourians in here. That is a scary thought. Yeah, I grew up about 50 miles north of Kansas City. Okay, Paul Bunyan. Never mind, that's Minnesota. Yeah, but Deds, you've been around so long it doesn't even matter. You've been around since show 1. Which means what's today? Friday will be number 200. Friday will be the 200th show. Wow. And I almost want to skip through until the next team comes in, but that was a quick 200. Yes, it was. I've got to do it. I've got to play that EVP again. I've just got to do it. This EVP is one that it's going to bother me forever. Everybody has those EVPs. It's like, I can't believe I got this. I can't believe this came from one of the recorders. I can't believe this came from a spirit. And just the bass of it. So yeah, I'm probably going to go back 2 or 3 more times during this show and listen to it. Just hearing Let's Kill Carol Cole. what do you... And it came up at a random time. They were in there provoking, and not really provoking, they were antagonizing. Then they got affected and they're saying, don't bother us. Why are you doing this? Well, you provoked us. And like I said earlier, everybody was only going in to talk to Carol Cole, and there's 61 other people who died on death row that nobody else is talking to. I think they're jealous. I think the spirits are jealous. Let's kill them so they can talk to us next time. That kind of makes sense. Let's get rid of him so they can come talk to us. We're bored. Who knows? Oh, Fairy, they do. We've caught spirits like when we analyzed Northern Nevada Railroad Museum. We actually got a murder mystery. We got two spirits communicating about a murder. I think it was two female spirits, and one of them was one of the ones that was murdered. It's just like, where do these conversations come from? And they're not they can't be residual. Two spirits talking about one of them being murdered cannot be coincidence. It's just some of those things that fall into line. It's just like, wait a minute here. My first investigation at Nevada State Prison, I got 2 EVPs in 30 seconds. And I just turned on my camera, was you won't make it out alive. And I just walked into the door of the prison. Is that a warning? But I will. Since you've been in the field for 16 years, I'm going to bring up the video. This is from my last visit to Nevada State Prison. This was Halloween weekend. This is my second night there. And let me just kind of paint a little picture here for you. Where death row is, it's in the top left of one of the buildings. I am the only one in the building. I'm the only one. There's no one within 300 yards of me. Everybody else is either over in the cafeteria or up in the other pods in the prison. The lady who runs the tours out of the prison said, leave Brent alone. Stay away. Stay out of the building. We're going to give him some time in there and see what he can get. I started getting sick in here. I mean, to the point where beyond bubble guts. But there's audio, but there's no EVPs to this. You being an investigator, let's see if you can shed some light to this. Now, this is just the clip. The full clip is about 55 minutes long. You can see me adjusting every now and then, trying to get comfortable because I'm sitting on a steel bunk. And you know with the Eddy, it picks up vibration. The meter didn't go off for 50 minutes. And I kept trying to get comfortable in the bunk. So let's see if you can figure something out on this one. Mind you, the batteries in the Eddy are brand new. Brand new batteries, so there's no way they're going dead. I'd like your fair opinion on this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cole and other esteemed guests that are here with me right now. I am gonna end this session. You don't want me to leave. You want me to stay. You want me to stay and talk to you? I can do that. I will stay and talk to you. Thank you. Thank you for making yourself known. So what do you think? Mind you, I know it picks up vibration, but it did not pick up any vibration the entire time I was talking for 55 minutes. It did not start going off until I said I was going to leave. And like I said, I'm alone in the building. There's nobody else in the building. And it wasn't, it was the vibration sensor, wasn't the EMF, it wasn't the EMF because you didn't see the lights go off. Possibly the humidity and a couple other things, but I still can't explain it. I've showed this video many, many times, and I've sent it to investigators. Nobody can explain it. And I was hoping you've been in the field a little bit longer than me. And I wondered if you had any possible way to debunk the Yeti. You know, sitting in the rubber shoe, it's not going to get the vibration as if it was sitting by itself. So we can eliminate vibration as a possibility. I don't know. But I figured I'd share that one with you. No EMF picked up. It's basically, it was the top lights and the air pressure. The air pressure around it changed. I mean, literally, I started getting physically ill in there. I mean, to the point where how do I put this? I've got no filter. I was either going to throw up or shit my pants. There's no other way to put that. I'm sorry. That's how bad I got in there. And once that I got that response, it died down a little bit, but then it started getting really bad. I mean, to the point I literally had to run out of that building to the bathroom. Then I came back in there later and I was fine. Like, there was some kind of energy in that cell with me. So, I don't know. Let's get back to the audio. Because the EMF on the Eddy meter is just like a regular EMF meter. It's got the green, the red, and the yellow. The green, yellow, then red. Or green, yellow, orange, and red. Excuse me. And none of that meter spiked. So the good thing is, you saw the Zoom H3 VR recorder sitting next to it. When we get to that recorder, I'm curious to see what the audio was sitting next to it, because being a binaural microphone, it will pick up the audio if there was anything around it. That Zoom H3 VR will pick up audio from 200 or 300 feet away, like you're sitting next to it. So I'm very excited to see what we get on it. But I'm saving the best for last. Well, hold on. Oh, nothing. We're in for a quiet session. Not what I wanted tonight. Now, Ferry, what programs do you guys use for analyzing audio? If you don't mind me asking. Use WavePad and raw audio. Okay. Now, do you guys do what I do and just turn on recorders and send them at random? Keep it very old school. Yes. I have started to, okay, so I'm not alone on that. A lot of people, let me pause this. Oh, keep letting it play. There's no audio. A lot of people don't like doing that because it's just hours upon hours of silence. It's just like, we've had shows where we've gotten, 3 or 4 hours of just silence without any EVPs. And I've actually sold a lot of my paranormal equipment because I just got too many questions about it. I got my digital recorders, I got my Eddy, I got my full spectrum camera, and it's a full spectrum with IR strobes. So I'm doing full spectrum strobe photography. Very, very unique. Yeah, usually these days we just dick around and make jokes and talk. Yeah, Sims is exactly right. And why did you use caps on dick? Seriously, Sims, you capitalized dick. I just got to point that out. But yeah, there's no filters in here, Ferry. This is the nights when just talk about whatever until we get evidence. But I got rid of my I sold my Ovilus. Too many questions about that. Only once I could never debunk it. Spell checks. Yeah, it is. Tires on the highway. I've basically just gone back to, as weird as it is, I carry my Zoom H3 VR and a GoPro. And everything else is left at random. I'd like to get my hands on a tape recorder, but I just don't want to lug that many tapes around. Sims, get a cheap digital recorder and record it. Then send me the file and we'll analyze it on air. Or you can, a little bit far, but there could be a residential investigation made in this room. Just saying. Sorry, Ferry, don't mean to throw you under the bus, but you are in Missouri. If it gets bad enough, I mean, but that is a 6-hour drive. I don't think it's that far. Yeah, you can get a good a cheap digital recorder for 20 or 30 bucks. Sold all my old millimeters. I got tired of transporting all the gear. And Ferry, I'm almost positive you'll agree with me. Transporting all that gear, there's no need for it. But yeah, it gets to be a pain in the ass. I know what Sims, I know exactly what look you're talking about. I know exactly what look, that look of, why didn't I believe you? That slight look of dread and acceptance. It's like, it just, exactly. I've got 5 cases. I've got 5 Nanook cases. Now I'm down to using 2. One for the Pentax, one for the full spectrum camera, and one for all the audio gear and the GoPro. I used to take everything. Then be like, I'm not using this. Why am I taking it? Because I might finally feel the urge to use it. I've even gotten away from using the Spirit Box. And Spirit Boxes are fun. But it has to be in unpopulated areas where there's no radio stations. But you know this. If it doesn't fit my bag, I don't need it. Anybody thinking about investigating who watches this later, well, right now, take Ferry's words right there. If it doesn't fit in my little bag, I don't need it. You don't need all the gear you see on these websites. Don't spend hundreds of dollars. Give yourself a $300 budget. A really good digital recorder, a good flashlight, and a decent camera. If you like it after that, spend a little bit more. Cap out at 1,000, don't go over that. Trust me on it. Unless you want to get into production and go over hours and hours of video, hours and hours of footage, setting up these static night vision cameras, these... What the fuck was that? Was that a car? Yeah, that was. A lot of people like setting up security cameras. If that's your thing. Remember, hard drives will be your worst enemy. Can I get 1 EVP? That is. I honestly don't think that's an EVP. But it's going to give us something to do. It's going to give us definitely something to do. Yeah, it's nothing. We can debunk it. I will say though, Ferry, I don't know what you guys use for headphones for analyzing. These KZ AS12s, like I'm wearing right now, actually have a two full megahertz lower range that'll pick up audio. We've actually picked up audio that we normally wouldn't with a pair of regular headphones. And just so you guys know, I did find out on this. The sound of the locking door is residual. It is the sound of the residual sound of the guards locking doors, because they would come through every 15 to 20 minutes, unlock a door, walk through it, relock it. So this is just after 1862 to 2012. You figure how many doors were locked and unlocked every day for over 100 years. So this is just residual door locking. And imagine being in there by yourself, empty prison, and you're hearing this. Probably make you just tinkle a little bit. I love watching people react to sounds like that, though. Get in these old locations and like, what is that? I'm scared. Really? You're scared over a door locking. Wait till later. I had the biggest hesitation about going to in-ears for audio because they all the manufacturers advised against it. It's like, you know what? It's not going to work. It's like, you know what? It's $80. I'll try it. Best investment I ever made. I'm going to take these with me and try doing a live EVP session with these in. And see what we can get. Name that car. Oh, Ferry, if you guys do like investigating prisons, I highly, highly suggest Nevada State Prison in Carson City, Nevada. The lady who runs it, real nice lady. Go in for a couple nights if you guys are up for it. It'll be one of the best experiences you ever have in the field. Yeah, look into Nevada State Prison, Carson City, Nevada. Uh, Nevada State Prison Paranormal on Facebook. The lady's name is Susan. Make sure and tell her Brent sent you, and she will take good care of you. She will take very good care of you and your team. Now the only downside is they want to try to get a certain amount of people in. They want to try to get at least 20 people. Now if you can't get that many people, she'll put the word out and try to fill the open spots. But you'll need at least 2 nights. Matter of fact, I guarantee you need at least 2 nights. It's over 1 million square feet. I guarantee you she could get you 12 more people in there. Or find other teams that you work with and get a group thing together and go. It'll be the best time you ever had. Trying to find a good picture up for you. Yeah, that's about as good as you're going to get. Maybe. Let's see here. So you figure I'll go ahead and tell you now. It's $125 a night per person. It's like I said, you'll have access to over 1 million square feet. There's still some of the buildings you can't get into because the weather's done some damage, and they're still cleaning some of the buildings. But yeah. Hold on to your cheeks because it's a clincher in there. There's a lot of stuff going on. Just to give you an idea. Love clinchers. Nice Vexus. So I'll give you guys an idea here. Let's go to filters, adjustments. Let me go. Do it this way. Let's do it this way for you guys. This is Nevada State Prison. Let me get a marker up here. Death row sits. Go with red. Death row sits right up in here. Not only do you have access to this, here's culinary, here's one of the old cell blocks, everything up here. You have 13 buildings up here on top you have access to. This is a license plate factory. There's not access to there right now because the weather's done some damage to it. All right, Sims, have a great night. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you to you soon. Right here is a mattress factory. Don't have access to that either. Right over here sits the warden's house on the left side. They're rebuilding that so we can get access to that here in future investigations. Right here is the original hole, basically dug into a mountain. Did we just get an EVP there and I missed it? And these buildings over here we just don't have access to yet. We have to be careful because right back here on the top right is the new prison. So you got to watch how you shine your flashlights. You got to be careful of a bunch of things. There is actually there's a dress code for the prison. As silly as that sounds, you have to watch what you wear in there. For the simple fact there's an active prison right next door. You are not allowed to wear any type of jeans. No cutoff jeans, no capri jeans, no jean jackets, nothing to do with any kind of jean material. For the simple fact, the prisoners next door are issued jeans. So it's get a good pair of black pants and a black shirt and you're good. But yeah, I guarantee you've been to places where you're limited on what you can do. But the fact you have 13, 14, like 17 buildings, you're not going to run out of places to investigate. Culinary, death row, cell blocks 10, 11, and 12 were absolutely amazing. Haven't heard of that. I'll have to look into that. I have to look that up. Would be a dream come true to do one night anywhere. Vexus, where are you at? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, hold on. Minneapolis. Huh. Sure, there's some areas around there. Hell, worst comes to worst, just go do a cemetery. You'll get a lot of evidence at any cemetery. As morbid as that sounds. That's where I started. When I first started was parks and cemeteries. But right now, I don't think it'd be such a good idea because you guys got snow. Sorry about that. Yeah, some of the best evidence I ever got was we did a veterans cemetery in Boulder City, Nevada. One of the few times, and I'm talking few, to where I heard the EVP with a naked ear. And that EVP was, I'm right here behind you. Hearing that and nobody's around you is kind of wild. We spent the night on the ice and my heater didn't work. Were you ice fishing? I'm jealous. I'd like to pull some nice pike or some nice walleye out. Even some perch. I don't care. Nice walleye'd be nice right now. My dad used to take me up to Minnesota fishing all the time when I was little. Used to go up to International Falls, Rainy Lake, and Lake Kabetogama. Oh no, please! If you're able right now to put your, if you can put your link in chat for your channel, go ahead. Because we got Deads in here. He's an outdoorsman. He's a hunter and a fisher, so I'm sure he'd drop into your stream. I know I will. If you're streaming, I'll stop in and give you a follow by all means. Total transition to IRL streaming, hunting, and fishing. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. What the hell is that? Is that a bird? That's a bird. That's definitely a freaking bird. Yeah, we're going to debunk that. I've been told though, Vexus, with Kabetogama, a lot of the feeder fish died off, or I don't know if they've restocked it over the past few years. But I was told for a while that the fishing on Cab just went completely downhill. That's 3 people in here tonight. I know exactly what area, or they know what area we're familiar with. Good. I might have to take a trip up there soon. It's been a long time since I've been up there. One of my dad's best friends used to own a resort on Cab, so I'd like to remember the name of the resort so I can see if it's still there. How small of a world it actually is. It is a small freaking world. Anybody wants. for Deads. One incredible paranormal experience, and have wanted to do more, but my wife won't let me get another hobby. Get her involved with the paranormal with you, unless she just doesn't like the ghosts. Kind of the hard part about this field is finding a significant other to investigate with. Actually, it's quite a pain in the ass. Her response would be, oh, hell no. And probably just like that too. You got to put emphasis on the hell. Oh, hell no. But yeah. But usually my relationships wouldn't last. I've had a couple of the girls I've dated be like, you need to get rid of those haunted things. They're bothering me. They won't let me sleep. Well, they were here before you. And they're going to be here long after you. You can go. Well, them or me. I choose them. Like I said, I've got numerous haunted objects in my room. I've got like 4 haunted dolls. I've got a couple of Ouijas. I've got a couple tarot decks. All from client cases. And it's like, they don't like new people too well. So yeah. I get you, man. I get you. Oh, these. A lot of people say the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, they're in my room. They're actually, one's just back right of me. 2 are on my dresser, or actually 3 of them are on my dresser. The Ouija, 2 of the Ouijas are in my stereo cabinet, and the tarot deck's on my bookshelf. They don't bother me. I acknowledge them. I talk to them. Yeah, people think I'm actually crazy for that. You don't want haunted dolls looking at me while you're doing the nasty. Well, wait till the deed's done, turn on the digital recorders, and have them rate your performance. Sorry, I had to say that. Okay, let's see. Here's one of them. Record the... Because nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Here's one of the dolls. Here's one of the geishas. She's actually probably one of the most active. Here's another one. This one actually has been on this guy has been on TV. That guy actually was on TV. He was on an episode of Ghost Adventures. He was in the Clown Motel in Tonopah, Nevada. And here's the Ouija and 2 of the other dolls. These are actually from Vietnam in like 1940. These two are extremely active. All three of these came out of the same residential case. And they're not entirely negative, but they can be mischievous. Meaning I hear voices. I have them in cases now. I put them in actual cases. The lady I got it from the case, she got him when she was a little girl, and she said she woke up one night to see one of them dancing on her dresser. She put him into a box for a few years, took him back out, and weird shit started happening in the house. So she put him back into a box and never opened the box again. Lo and behold, activity starts up. She called me in, and I said, okay. She started showing me around the house. She goes, oh, I do have some dolls from pre-war Vietnam. It's like, okay, show them to me. I put the EMF meter next to him, and the EMF meter lit up. So we did the investigation, and certain other things happened. As you saw the Ouija, there's some bad things that happened with that. She said, get him out of my house. I do not want him here anymore. I said, okay, I'll get him out. I know how to control him. First night I got him home, I heard activity on my dresser in the middle of the night. And I heard, little whispers. Can't make it out. It's probably in Vietnamese. But they tend to stay pretty well behaved because I acknowledge them. I say good morning to them every day, as well as the geisha and the clown. Hey guys, good morning. How you doing today? And the activity doesn't spike as bad as long as you communicate with them. So, oh, guys, how you doing? And every once in a while, get a little knock or something. So, and the house I live in is haunted anyway. I got my house out of probate. The old man died in the house, and his spirit is here too. He's a little bit of a jerk at times. So I'm dealing with haunted activity all the time. And it's a shame Sims left. Because we actually, I don't know if Deds was here or not, we actually had full-on activity while I was streaming. Had a fucking shadow walk between the back of my chair and between my green screen. It stopped me dead in my tracks. Literally. And you see, I literally looking around my room because I thought somebody was in my room. The reaction on my face was priceless. But I don't know if it was the spirit of the old man who died here or one of the dolls. Spirit of one of the dolls. But like I said, activity all the time here. You just kind of get used to it. There's no dumb questions in this field. When it comes to the paranormal, there are absolutely... That is a very tricky question. It becomes a vessel. If somebody was near it when they died and they loved that doll, their energy might I don't want to say transfer into the doll, but if somebody owned a doll for 40, 50 years, that was one of their cherished possessions. When they pass away, that's one of their fondest memories, so their energy could transfer over to that doll. You get things like the Annabelle doll, the real Annabelle doll, not like the movies, where a demon possesses the doll. I don't know if it's a demon, but it's a very negative entity. It just becomes a vessel. The Raggedy Ann doll, yes. It just becomes a vessel. I mean, hell, a spirit could overtake this ink pen. It's whatever the spirit chooses to, I don't want to say inhabit, but there's usually some kind of underlying reason. Maybe it's a negative entity to gain your trust. It'll act all nice and kind and prim and proper. Okay, I use this all the time. You are in life as you are in death. If you're a nice person, you're going to be a nice spirit. If you are an asshole in life, you're probably going to be an asshole in death. I mean, I've gone into some negative, really negative areas with some pretty shitty spirits. And you just keep talking to them like they're a normal person. Talk to spirits as if you would, as if I'm talking to you. As if I'm talking to one of my best friends. As I'm talking to my mother, my grandmother, my father, whoever. Show them a little bit of respect. Oh, there's demons walking among us. That's a given. It's just who they choose to screw with, I guess you want to say. There's negative spirits, there's mischievous spirits. Spirits are just like everybody else. You got pranksters, guys like me who like to play jokes on people. If I become a spirit, I'm going to be playing jokes on everybody. And they're going to know it's me because of my demeanor. So just because somebody's an asshole doesn't mean it's a demon. It's just a negative entity, a negative energy. In over 800 investigations, I've only ever been on one demonic. One. So you figure the odds on that one. Everybody who screams demonic needs to be squeezed by the neck until their eyes pop out of their head. Demonic possession, demonic investigations don't happen very often. If you get one, you're going to know it. And it's going to rock your shit. I'm not going to even sugarcoat it. It's going to rock you. You said, if I become a spirit, why if we all die? Well, this is when religion comes in. This is when religion definitely plays a part. And the bad thing about the paranormal is, not bad. Don't get me wrong when I say that. It becomes very tricky. Because if you go into, I'm going to bring Nevada State Prison into this. You had different prisoners of different beliefs. You had Native Americans, you had Muslims, you had Christians, you had Catholics, you had Methodists, you had, Judeo-Christian. And a lot of people follow their religion to, when you die, you go to heaven or hell. There's no in between. And some people believe our spirits remain here. We stay to see our loved ones. We stay here for unfinished business, whatever it may be. We don't really die. We're just energy. We return to the environment. But my argument on this one is, and I've talked about this on the show quite a few times, and doing residentials, and Ferry will agree with this one. Occasionally we will get bombarded by the ultra religious. I don't want to say the Bible thumping, please forgive me for saying this. A lot of the Bible thumping Christians, and they're notorious for it. And forgive me for saying it like that, but there's no true way. When you die, you go to heaven or hell. Heaven or hell, there's no in between. Okay? I'm going to use your own, but a lot of people are, and I'm trying not to offend on this one because I've struck some serious nerves with it. And I'll ask them in return, okay, when you go to heaven, when you die, you go to heaven or hell, there's no in between. Are we on the same ground on this one? They're like, yeah, there's no in between. I was like, okay, then I bring up, do you read the Old Testament or the New Testament? And they'll say one or the other, if not both. Like if they say the New Testament, it's like, okay, let's use this. In the Old Testament, there is no fire and brimstone. There is no true definition of hell in the Old Testament. Fire and brimstone did not come along until the New Testament. And they're like, yeah, you're right. Okay, you just walked into my trap. Well, what do you mean? Okay, you just said heaven, hell, no in between. Yeah, that's it. Okay. What if hell is being judged to remain here on earth to watch the ones you love grow old and die? That is your punishment for the life you lived, is to remain here on earth to watch the ones you love die. No parent wants to watch their children die, their grandchildren, a loved one, another family member. That is an ultimate punishment, is to watch somebody you love die before their time. Your time's already come and gone, but you're forced to remain here to watch that. Wouldn't that be a definition of hell? Wouldn't that be a definition of suffering, is watching someone you love die? And they can't answer that. They try to change the subject. It's like, okay, you want to try to use religion against me for trying to help you. I'm gonna use your own theology against you, and not try to lose a client over it. And I mean that any spirit you engage with was in hell, their own personal hell. But that's only using Christian logic, Christian and Catholicism. But a lot of religions believe spirits walk among us. Even the Bible says that spirits walk among us. The Bible says we're not supposed to communicate with them. But you take that into account. It's like studying the religions. It all revolves around a basic relevance. There's a lot of similarities. But like I said, there's no dumb questions, and it requires what you ask, and it kind of filters into a very long discussion. And taking that into account, you go to residentials is completely different, because you got to take in the client's beliefs and try to give them the answers they need without scaring them. You got to be able not to terrify your client. Like Nevada State Prison, we know there's all walks of life, all walks of prisoners. Everybody believed in something different. So you get a little bit of leniency on how you investigate. Going into residentials, buckle up, because it does take a special type of person to do a residential investigation. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can even be trained to do it. You got to have a certain demeanor and a certain, I don't know how to explain it. Ferry, can you help out on this? Because you've been in longer than me, a little bit longer. Can you maybe help explain that one a little bit different? Because like I said, it's not made out for everybody. And I've even dealt with investigators, like they will never touch a residential. They don't have the demeanor or the want to do it. And that's, for me, difference between ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. A lot of ghost hunters, they just want to go out, investigate known haunted locations, communicate with those spirits, and that's it. Paranormal investigators, you get behind the science, you get behind parapsychology, you get behind quantum physics, you get behind all the sciences involved in the energy that's trapped in the human body. It's there's a book out there by an author called J.C. Knight. It's called Ghost Physics. It explains the God particle. The human body, when you die, you weigh like 14 grams lighter or something like that. Its theory is it's your your energy leaving the body, or micrograms or something. It's something weird like that. But tying science, religion, and trial and error into the paranormal, measuring their soul, yes. It becomes, it gets confusing. The longer you're in the field, the more questions you have. The more you read, the more lost you get. Because every author, I mean, you've got Hans Holzer, you've got Lloyd Auerbach, you've got just so many authors out there. Like Hans Holzer, the godfather of the paranormal. You've got Ed and Lorraine Warren. Yes, they based a lot of their investigations on religion. A lot on religion. And I'm actually a member of the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research. It took me 3 years to get into that group. It's so hard to build upon residentials. And you develop such a bond with your client. They're not just, they stop being clients and almost become friends. They've welcomed you into their home, opened their souls to you, opened all their problems and everything, searching for answers. I still talk to a good majority of my clients. I get messages every now and then. I get invited out to their houses. Come have a meal with us. You build such a level of trust. It's very hard to explain unless you've lived it. Even like I'll say with Nevada State Prison, I've made such a bond with them at the prison. They want me to come back over and over again because of the bond I've made with them and the spirits there. When you're in this field, you can't burn bridges. You can't do anything that's going to hurt your name. And I've worked with a lot of people that I had to distance myself from because of the negativity. A lot of them become close friends and invite us to dinner. Ferry, yes, 100%. And it's so flattering. It's like, you're still thinking of me. It's like you basically don't want to say you saved our lives, but you were there in our darkest hour. You were there when nobody else was. You were there when people thought we were crazy. And that is one of the biggest, and Ferry will 100% agree with this one. Well, tell us what's going on. You're going to think we're crazy. We live our lives on crazy. Shock me. I've heard everything. There's not a thing you can tell me that I haven't heard from another client. We know you're not crazy. And I've used that motto to my clients since day one. We know you're not crazy. And usually that brings them down to a calm level. We know you're not crazy. My mentor in this field taught me that. He goes, Brett, we know you're not crazy. That's the motto of the team. And I've used that as my motto investigating for the entire time. And they want to know they're not crazy and for us to prove it to them? Yes. I 100% agree, Ferry. They want to know they're not crazy. And when you show them what's going on, and there's times when it's worse. It's so much more worse than they expected. Then you have to take that step a little bit further and help them cleanse their house. You got to get somebody in and do a blessing or a cleansing on the house. How long have I been streaming? Friday will be my 200th show. Little over probably about a year. I'm not stopping. not as long as I have evidence, not as long as I can talk about the paranormal. When I have people like you, Vexus, come in, when I have people like you come in and ask questions like this, I can go on forever. I will stop the evidence. I will stop analyzing.
Thou shalt not bow down before any graven image.
Vexus, thank you so much for the sub.
Thank you.
As long as I have people coming in asking questions, I will cut the show on analyzing evidence and take the entire show to answer your questions. This is one of the main reasons I wanted to start streaming this, is to give people answers who want to learn about the field. People who they themselves want answers. Yeah, I mean, analyzing the evidence is a big part of it. I get to share my experiences and my investigations with my viewers. But to be able to give them a little bit of direction on what they're looking for. You know, I've got this happening in my house. What do I need to do? Oh, I've always wanted to know this. You know what? If I can't find the answer right now, I'll research it and give it to you on the next show. And I'll get a brief synopsis of it for you. Not a lot of people in this field will do that. Not a lot of people want to train people. Not a lot of people want to teach. When we go on an investigation, we want to go investigate. We want to hit the ground running and go. To teach somebody new is very tough. And it's 100% impossible on residentials. Unless you're just extremely gifted from the get-go, you can't train on residentials. It's only for the experienced investigators. I mean, I got very fortunate. When I started in the field, well, I wasn't even 10 investigations in, and I was doing residential investigations. I wasn't even 2 years in, and that's the demonic I got. I wasn't even 2 years in the field, and I got a demonic. And that house, that investigation ended up being something Ghost Adventures picked up, and it was on one of the first few seasons of Ghost Adventures. They did a demon house in Vegas, and that was the one that I investigated before they did. I'll be honest, I've always wanted to believe, and I did mostly, and then I had my experience. I've been all ever since. You believe it or not, so I want to see more and experience more. Oh, believe me, once you open that door, once you take those blinders off, you're going to see a whole lot more than you ever wanted to. And once you, Zach is, all in all, Zach's a good dude. He is. But remember, these shows, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters International, Destination Fear, Ghost Brothers, all those, they're acting. There's a lot. They've got to keep people tied to the TV. People don't realize how much goes into one of these shows. And I know I'm going to get a laugh out of this one from a certain person in here. When they go into these locations, they don't go in for 1 or 2 nights. They go in for a week or 2. And got to remember, it is for entertainment. 95% of it is entertainment. I can't tell the secrets of the show because way back in like season 1 or 2 when they did the Mizpah up in Tonopah, Nevada, I was with the team that was in there with them. I just wasn't there at the location. I know what goes on for the shows. There's a lot of secrets. What they're doing is somewhat correct, somewhat legit. Remember, like I said, it is acting. They're just overacting what they're actually doing. Nobody goes around in the dark and doing what they're doing. Like with Aaron, oh my God, you hear that? No, you don't do that. It's real in a sense. The way they investigate is real. But the reactions and over let me no, not the reactions, the overreactions is all for Hollywood. It's all for Hollywood. It's all for ratings. Aaron is he's a goofball on the show. He is a goofball in real life. Billy Billy used to be a DJ here in Vegas, and that's how I knew him from years ago. All the tools, a lot of the tools they use are all those ones you don't need. They use the Ovilus 3, they use, the SLS, they use all these. SB11 is, the Spirit Box is good. The SB7 is actually better. Or excuse me, the S Box. The S Box is better. The SB11, because it has dual channel, is good, and you can turn off the antenna, which means you're not going to get as much interference from radio stations. The equipment they use, 100% real. The locations, 100% real. The problem is, God, I don't like saying this. Everything on that show over the past seven or eight seasons has been dark. It's all darkness. It's all evil. It's all bad entities. Most of these locations, there is no dark entities there. They took it to darkness because that's what people wanted. These locations are not dark. There's no demons. There's no malevolent spirits there. It's just normal spirits. But normal spirits don't sell. It's entirely too coincidental. It's like they tried turning a lot of these into negative entities. And I've been to some of these locations. There's nothing dark there. There's nothing dark whatsoever. And it's like going, okay, I get it. It's for ratings. When Destination Fear did Nevada State Prison. Now, if you have Amazon Prime and Discovery Plus, go watch Destination Fear's investigation of Nevada State Prison. It was more legitimate than Ghost Adventures' investigation a few years. Excuse me, their investigation a few years earlier. When I met them at Paracon here a few months back, or a couple months back, introduced myself, said, "So what did you get at Nevada State Prison that didn't make the show?" And they all three of them kind of looked at me like, "What?" It's like, "What didn't make the show?" And they said, "A lot." I introduced I said, I'm Brent with Incarnate Paranormal. I'm good friends with Susan at the prison. We're going back again Halloween. I investigated there last year. I was like, last year I got 236 EVPs in 2 nights. They're like, what? And they couldn't believe it. I said, come over to the booth here after you're done signing autographs. They came over. I showed them the booklet because I typed it all out. And they're like, we didn't even get half of this. So I was like, you guys probably got what, 50, 60 EVPs that didn't make the show? And they're like, yeah, pretty much. It's like, you guys have to come back. I'll join you and I'll take you around and show you what to do. And they're like, yeah, please. We'd love to be able to do these other buildings at the prison. They only did 3 of the buildings. They didn't know there was like 17 others for him to walk into. They only did what you saw in the show, and they didn't know about anything else. They had a rock thrown at them, which genuinely happens at the prison. They got responses in execution, which obvious. And they got reactions in culinary, which is the cafeteria. Very legitimate investigation. A little bit of acting in it, and it's obvious, of course. But just go watch it if you have Discovery Plus, go watch it, please. you'll understand what I mean when I say it. But I invited him up to the prison for my next investigation Halloween weekend. Bell Witch Cave, I don't know anything about it. I'll be honest. I've never even read into it. There's so much out there to investigate and to research. My focus lately has been mainly Nevada and California. And right now, I'd like to be able to travel back. I'd like to go do Waverly Hills. There's a couple other areas. I'd like to do the Conjuring House. I'd like to get into the Amity House. Well, residentials, I do it because I love helping people. I love giving them the answers that they need. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle for me. It's like, okay, I get this piece, I get this piece, I get this piece, put them together. There's the answers. For the known haunted locations, I know this life isn't all there is. I guess at the end of the day, if I was to answer that honestly, ultimate confirmation that this life isn't all there is. Excuse me, this physical life isn't all there is. I know there's something after we pass on. Our energy returns to the environment. Does it remain in certain areas? Are we able to travel as that energy? Can we go back to our childhood home? Can we go to our favorite locations? Like I said, one of my favorite locations, Goldfield Hotel, as well as Nevada State Prison. As that energy, can I go to these locations? And will the energies remember me? You know, they're conscious, I'll give you that. These energies remember my name. So that's more confirmation to me that there is consciousness after physical life. I guess confirmation that there is consciousness after physical life, if that makes any sense. And I fully believe 100% there is consciousness after we physically die. And the reason I say that is I really didn't get all the answers I wanted until Susan at the prison contacted me when she took a tour group through the prison. Mind you, this is in Carson City and I'm in Las Vegas. The spirits there asked for me by name. Where's Brent? Came through the spirit box and she's there with a tour group. And my name comes through the spirit box. And she had to explain to them who Brent was. They thought it was a ruse. They thought it was a legitimate ruse when my name came through there. And she had to explain to them, no, he's an investigator who's been here before, who made a connection with the spirits. So yeah, and at the end of the day, confirmation of a consciousness after death. Or after, excuse me, I hate using that word, a consciousness after physical life. Because death isn't all there is. It's just moving on to another plane. Didn't mean to be so long-winded on that answer. And it's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of interest, and the other benefits are you meet a lot of interesting people, you make a lot of new friends, you make a lot of new connections to other areas to investigate. And it's opportunity too. I'm a people person. And you've heard I've been talking about this for almost an hour straight. And I love it. I love being educated. I love sharing my experiences with people who are willing to listen. I love being able to just share a little bit about myself, and hopefully other investigators or other people can take a piece of that and take it on with them. For other investigators, hey, I didn't think about this. I'm going to try this. I just taught another investigator something that they didn't think about trying. I gave a piece of myself to somebody else who's going to use that to hopefully benefit their style of investigating. And learning from other investigators is one of the most important things in the field. Just being able to investigate with other people, learn their techniques, and incorporate part of that into what you're doing. And you better yourself as an investigator and actually as a person. It's something you never thought of. And that energy shared between investigators never goes away. And this is a plus side and a downside to the field. And this is something that I warn people about. Hold on. My throat's going dry. Excuse me. You take a piece of every investigation with you. You take a piece of that energy with you forever. You also leave a piece of yourself on that investigation. You leave a portion of your energy imprinted in that environment, and it'll never go away. It is there forever, as well as the energy you took with you. It is a part of you until the end of time. Because the spirits and the energy in that location shared a piece of themselves as I shared with them. It's a mutual shared energy. And sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. It gets very overwhelming. Especially when you get multiple entities, multiple energies in one location that want to talk to you or communicate with you at the same time, because you're the one, maybe the only one who can communicate with them and know that they're there. And you get that rush of emotion over you. It's like, wow. It's like going out and running 10 miles and then trying to go to work afterwards. You just get that immediate, that energy drain to your body. And that's why a lot of investigators, and Ferry, I'd like your opinion on this one. You get back from a major investigation, it may take a few days, if not a couple of weeks, to recover, physically and energy-wise. Have you broken down emotionally during an investigation? Yes. A couple of times. Actually, a few times. I've cried on investigations. I'm not going to lie about that. If you know how to control it, it's still going to get you. It's like it sucked the life out of you. Yeah. Thank you. If you're in a location that a lot of, I don't want to say negativity, but a lot of emotional duress happened, you're going to feel that emotional duress. If you're, I don't like doing this on normal investigations, but residentials, if you go into somebody's house and it ends up you happen to find a trapped spirit, and you have to help that spirit move on to the next realm. If you have to help that spirit pass on to the light, it is the most emotional thing you will ever experience in your life. And I'm not going to even sugarcoat that. It will break you down physically and emotionally. You're going to cry. You're going to smile. And you're going to cry. Getting a spirit to pass on or to move into the light, it is something I can't explain. Once this instant that passing on happens, you get a wave of emotion, and it's very heartwarming and very disheartening at the same time. That Vexus, there's several spirits that don't want to, and I'll say Nevada State Prison. The spirit of Carol Cole is trapped in the death chamber, in the execution chamber. He refuses to move on. He says he's scared to, because he doesn't want to be judged. There's spirits that just want to remain. Whether they don't want to remain or they're scared to remain, or they're scared to move on, excuse me. They might be very scared to move on because they don't know what the next life is going to bring. But then the other theory, if you bring religion into it, when you die, you have 7 days to pass on into the light, or you're stuck here and that door closes. Then it takes a medium or somebody to go in and reopen that door, reopen that energy for you to move on into the light. Sometimes it may take a while for them to want to, but some, they just want to stay because this is what they knew. This is where they were happy. This is the life. This is everything they knew. They don't want to give that up. They're just, I don't want to say they're stubborn, but they're set in their ways. Yes, I have. I've done it quite a few times. Nevada State Prison. I did. Carol Cole. It's like you are no longer trapped here. You don't have to be trapped here. You can move on to the next life. You gave your life. You're clear with the house. Number one reason, I'm scared. You get scared quite a few times. And other times you'll get like trapped. Scared or trapped. Like Carol Cole doesn't want to move on because he's afraid he's going to go to hell. So he remains in this small room because he's afraid to move on. And usually if you help a spirit move on, there's usually a loud bang or something I've experienced where like you help a spirit move on, there's like a loud bang afterwards, or like a loud, almost like a thunderclap, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's like I'm scared or I'm trapped, or the two top reasons, or I don't want to. I'm happy here. Don't you want to go be with your loved ones? I don't have any. So you're happy people coming in to visit you? Yes. You're happy when people come sit and talk to you? Yeah, I'm happy that way. A lot of spirits just want to talk to people. And that's okay. When I'm a spirit, do I want to move into the light? Yeah, but I also want to stay and talk to people. I want the next generation of investigators to come and talk to me. Hey, Brent, what's it really like? What do you see? What do you feel? How do you see me? Do I see your energy? Do I see you as you? I mean, there's so many questions there. How do the spirits see us? Yes. Vexus, absolutely. Then there's, like I said, all the paranormal is a lot of theory. There's no definites. There's no concrete. Everything is everybody else's interpretation of what happens. From what I've picked up from other investigators throughout the years is difference between a spirit and a ghost. A ghost trapped here has not passed on into the light, won't pass on to the light, whatever. A spirit is an entity that has moved on into the light and comes back and forth. And that's about as easy as I can put it. So a spirit has passed on into the light and comes back to visit or to roam or whatever. But ghosts, or I don't know if you want to call them ghosts, but some are just trapped here. Some refuse to move on. And some don't know they're dead. And that's the other side of the field. Pets come back to their owners. Yes, I've heard that one too. I've seen spirits of pets, and it's an entirely different thing altogether. It's actually kind of freaky. But excuse me, my eyes are starting to burn. It's your guess is as good as mine. You could actually come up with a theory that would blow anything I could ever say away. It's one of those things to where your best guesswork. Take everything you've learned and guess. And hopefully it works. I'm glad, Vexus. I'm really glad you love it here. This is my passion, is talking about it. It's not just analyzing. Analyzing would be on the back burner for me if I had my way. But bringing up all this it makes you question your own mortality. If I drop dead right now, am I still going to be able to watch the show? I'm energy. Can I just can I put myself into the matrix and watch this show all the time? I mean, it's kind of a stupid analogy, but where do you go with it? Oh, I'm not afraid of dying. Being in this field, I know this life isn't all there is. I've had spirits pass through me. I've watched spirits walk down hallways. I've spoken to the energies. And like I said, the only thing that worries me, and I don't like bringing religion into it, is, like I said earlier, in the Bible, it says you're not supposed to talk to the dead. What happens when you pray? You're speaking to the deceased. You're speaking to God, and a being that's alive forever, that's always around us. When you pray, you're talking to deceased loved ones. So it's kind of a contradiction. But you're not supposed to seek out the dead. And that's bringing Christianity into it. Other religions spend days celebrating the lives of the deceased at the cemeteries. So where's that line? But and the other side of it, you're helping give people peace of mind. You're helping put their souls at ease. It becomes very tricky. Okay, hear you out here. I got you. Shoot. Throw that line out there. We got way off track on on talking. Let me see where we at. If this life isn't the only thing, and you have spirit beings around, okay? Is that really life after death, and what's the definition of life? I don't want to bring religion into this. It's so hard not to on this. What's a definition of life? It's our perception of ourselves in somebody else's eyes. I mean, what is a definition of life? And then that brings into what is life is, what lessons are we learning? If there is multiple lives, and if you've ever heard of people doing past lives reading, oh, I've lived 5 previous lives. I'm on my 6th life. We are like I said, in theory, we are sent back because there's a lesson we need to learn. There is something we have to accomplish in life to move on to that next plane of existence. So if we didn't learn the lesson in this life, are we brought back to the next life to hopefully learn that lesson? It's life is about learning. And we just attain a higher consciousness. If we learn that lesson that we're sent here to learn, we ascend to a higher consciousness. And we're not really living. In my honest opinion, I don't think we're really living. We're energy. Our energy never dies. Who wants you to learn that lesson? Then you got to bring religion into it. You got to bring God into it. That energy never dies. Energy in the universe is constant. And if we are solely energy, then our energy never dies. Our energy never fades. It's just an altered perception. I think life is an altered perception. And seeing beyond that veil, what happens after physical life, investigators see beyond that veil. In that case, who cares? Who wants you to learn that lesson? Like I said, it's so tough to answer that one. without bringing multiple religions in. You know, even bringing the teachings of Buddha in. You know, and all the some of the Eastern religions. No, please put me on the spot. I love this. It's trying to bring in all possibilities, philosophical and all that, because like teachings of Buddha about peace and energy and tranquility. That's what we want in life, is peace and tranquility. So our soul or our energy being at ease and being at rest and having that even line across your life. No stress, no hate, no stress and no hate. You got love and purity and, you know, nothing but positivity in your life. You got, you know, don't even bring yin and yang. You have light and dark in your life, and trying to balance the light and the dark. And that people say when you talk to spirits, you're walking into that darkness. And when you come back, you're stepping back into the light. So you have to bring philosophy into it as well. If that makes any sense. It's trying to balance the light and dark. Yeah. It's trying to throw this off the top of my head on the spot. It really makes me think. It really puts me on the spot, and I don't mind. I love it. This is what I love. Just trying to dive into this and at least share a little bit of my theory, my analogies, and my hypothesis of what life is and what life isn't. So after all these, do you have an overall theory? Yeah, not really. I mean, I like I said, I believe we're all energy. We're all going to return. We are an altered perception. We return to a higher consciousness after physical life is over. I believe in, well, I call it life after, I don't say life after death. I call it life after life. There is life after life. Now, what that is, I don't know. Are these spirits, are these energies that communicate with us only here until their next life or their next physical life comes around? Or is that energy then removed from the environment, removed from that area, and recycled into the environment, and they go into their next physical life? It's entirely possible. Then you've got to bring in quantum physics into that. And that's something I have no idea about. I have no idea about quantum physics. But like I said, energy is constant. We are energy. And that being in theory, our energy never dies. Therefore, we never die. We are forever. It's just what physical perception that we take on after this one leaves us. Yeah, I've read some of these books and I've shut them and I've opened them up 6 months later going, I can't comprehend this. I can't do it. You're kind of like, what don't I know? I've got about 100 paranormal books sitting on my bookshelf to my right. I've got over 300 books on my Amazon wish list that I want to read. Each one has a different take on the paranormal, parapsychology, and just different areas of the field. And sometimes I have to go back and read it 3 or 4 times before I comprehend. All right, Vexus? Weird questions I think have gone bye-bye. You've had some very, very good questions. And this will probably be the last question. Because I'm gonna have to shut it down and get up for work early in the morning. And believe me, in this field, there's no weird. There's absolutely no weird in this field. Could we experience an alien entity in spirit? Oh, by all means, yes. And if you want to bring cryptozoology into it, we can bring in cryptozoology. You know, the study of aliens and Bigfoot and Chupacabra and all that. Could we see an alien entity? Oh yeah. Could we see the spirit of Bigfoot? The spirit of Loch Ness? Whatever. Those are alien. Those are technically alien entities, since we can't explain them. Falls on, like I said, cryptozoology. Energy never ends. We could very well experience that. If it's a conscious entity, a conscious being, and that'll bring back up what Fairy said. Seeing spirits of our pets. Our animals are conscious beings. They're intelligent beings. If there is any consciousness and intelligence to it, it has that constant energy. So yeah, by all means, we could experience. I could go into Area 51, do a paranormal investigation, and get 50 EVPs from the Greys. I mean, it is theoretically possible. According to Einstein, it is plausible. So, like, I know it's far-reaching. It's science fiction. Science fiction saying, can we get EVPs from aliens? If we can get it from Joe Smith, why can't we get it from the alien? He may not speak English. We're probably not going to understand it unless we have that universal paranormal translator. You know, the galactic translator. I mean, in theory, yes. It's honestly not a weird question. This raises a lot more questions. This raises a lot of questions. You know, a lot of people are so entwined in aliens and Bigfoot and Loch Ness and all those. If it's a living being, it's gonna pass. It's gonna perish eventually. And if that energy passes on, yeah, you're going to communicate with it. That's actually a pretty damn good question. If it's a living being. Yeah, we're not going to get an EVP out of the zinc pen. I mean, probably not going to get an EVP out of a worm or a locust or something like that, but your parrots, your dog, your cat, you spend 15, 20 years with these beings who you are their world. And once that energy, yeah, you Sasquatch. You never know. You just never know. It all depends on communication. If you can get their attention, or they can get yours, why not? Just why not? It sounds like a fairy tale. It sounds literally like a comic book. Oh, Vexus, you're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate it, and thank you for the questions. And this is the number one reason why I started this show, is to be able to do stuff like this. Is to take answers, take questions, and take time out of analyzing to be able to spend time with my viewers and maybe answer some of their questions and just give them a different view on what they might have missed. And this is how we do it. This is how we do residentials as well. Take the questions, take the time, and build that bond. And this is how you gauge people, how they investigate. I'm all in. You're stuck with me for at least 6 months. You sub for. I didn't get a 6-month notification, man. Thank you. Jesus Christ, man. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'll give you another one.
Thank you.
That is freaking awesome, man. Thank you. This community is growing. And I've put a lot of my heart into it. I've put a lot of myself into this. And this is something where, for me, it shows it's starting to pay off. Ferry, thank you so much for being here. Hello to your team. It was an honor and pleasure having you here. Please come back. Please join in again as we start to analyze evidence. I do this Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 8:30. And yeah. And sometimes I'll do it on Sundays if there's no football. So occasionally I will do weekend streams, but usually it's Monday to Friday, as long as I'm not stuck at work. But yeah, we've been coming up on 2.5 hours. I usually do 2 hours. Got involved with talking, and I love it. But with this being said, I answered that last question, so I am going to call it myself. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you being here. Ferry, welcome to the stream. Vexus, welcome and thank you for the subs. Thank you for the questions. And please keep them coming. Please keep the questions coming. If you want to, scroll down on the channel. Hit up Discord. I usually announce when I'm going live or when I'm not going to be coming live. If I get trapped at work or something. So usually do that. We sometimes just post stupid shit in there. So please check out the Discord. You too, Ferry, if you'd like. Tonight was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. You guys are a true blessing. And I'm honored that you guys are here. You guys are making this community so much fun and so amazing for me. And I'm forever grateful. I truly am. You guys have a great night. Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. This show is becoming something I never thought it would. It's making an impact with the viewers. It's making an impact with you guys. And thank you for allowing me to share my life and my experiences with you guys. Good night. God bless. And I will see you guys tomorrow night.